Welcome, folks, to part 4 of Let's Play Donkey Kong Country 2. Take a couple sips of Powerade real quick and kind of get us forth. So it's actually, I should be saying good morning, because it's actually in the morning time, and kind of had a spillover from having a hard time with getting to sleep, so I figured why not play Donkey Kong Country. I mean, this kind of happened to me earlier this year with Ninja Turtles, and I actually did a couple good episodes of that when that happened, so why not mess with DKC2 a little bit? I mean, I'm familiar enough with it to where I probably should be able to plow through this game, so yeah, I'm incredibly parched right now also, and just thinking about wanting to have like a Powerade or something definitely works. Got a blue one next to me, those are good. The Mountain Berry Blast. So, but yeah, so I mean, by the time you get to this point in the game, for absolute newcomers, you just have to understand that there still are plenty of tricks of the trade left to see. But this makes me wonder if folks who are trying to try out this game circa 2021 know anything about the Donkey Kong Country Returns series. Because if they're spoiled rotten on that, then that would probably be like, this game would feel like an Atari game compared to that game, you know? And, I mean, it's really not that old in terms of gameplay and stuff, but I still feel like, you know, there's like, I mean, the Wii for the Nintendo is like 3 machines old at this stage. You know, you've got, yeah, I mean, it definitely is, so obviously things like the Super Nintendo and stuff are ancient, but, I'm trying not to flip back and forth to where it does that blinding thing with the light too much, because I know that that's kind of annoying, but sometimes you do have to do it, especially with them putting those piranhas in there. Those are kind of the worst enemies, at least in this stage. I mean, some of the rest of them are annoying, but those kind of make it to where you have to turn around a little bit. So, because they get set in their trajectory, and then that's where they'll go. But this was a nifty stage for the time. It was a fairly interesting gimmick, even though the third Donkey Kong Country is where all the gimmicks come out. I mean, they don't do too many gimmicks in this one, but they do in the third one. And they kind of did in the first one, I don't know. But, so, yeah, I mean, really, you're just dealing with a whopping fun game. I mean, this is one of the better worlds in the game, but then all of them are kind of interesting. They had a real good script for how they mapped out how they wanted to do this game. I mean, some games will fall apart, and the later worlds, like, I kind of felt like that about the Banjo-Kazooie series. Is the first one in that series was good, but then the Banjo-Tooie game that came out later didn't have nearly as interesting as worlds, and that's kind of, it sucks when developers run out of ideas while they're making the game. Taking another drink, and it's annoying, but yeah, I mean, that's what makes the difference between a game being like a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10 and like a 7.5 or an 8, something that really lags down. But this game doesn't have that problem, so we're just gonna keep plowing through World 3. We're actually not gonna get out of that world this time, but, you know, we'll be at World 4 by the next one, so this is kind of, just get used to this swampy area. They have a lot of stages that they attempt to do that do kind of pull off a bit, so this part kind of kicks my ass a bit. It's more difficult just because you have to be precise with throwing the monkeys between the bees, and if you throw it too far to the left, you get hit. If you throw it too far to the right, you get hit. So it's a real bastard, and it's more of a bastard than I remembered. I mean, when I was a kid, I probably did it like instantly, but this is the part I'm talking about. So, and you don't get any invincibility tangent, so I figured I could just run past it, and the game said, nope, denied. Absolutely not. And that kills me twice, so just get used to this for a little while. But it's a nice morning jog up in grogginess to wake up to, you know. So, and they're not accepting any bullshit. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just parched for some reason. That's why. I mean, normally I don't drink Powerade or drink water or anything like that when I do LPs. It's probably one of the first times I've done that. Just happened to be extra thirsty today for some reason. So, oh, that time I get the invincibility tangent. So, that's all. We did all that for the DK coin, so you actually have to do that if you want to get 102%. So. Really, this game is not that tough if you're just trying to go for the basic stuff, but if you're actually trying to beat this game 102%, that's where the difficulty kind of uncorks. And that just kind of happens to be the thing. They knew, just because I bet that was some of the complaints about the first game, was that some of the game, for people who just wanted to complete it, was more difficult than they wanted. I mean, especially if you were trying to get 101%. I mean, obviously, it was a real bastard then, but that, like I was saying, that's where they save most of it in this game, is for the true completion, because there's actually a whole nother world, and yeah, with like 5 or 6 extra stages and a second boss fight at the end. So, but later on, when I get to fighting the final boss, after you win, you do encounter like the other characters from Nintendo games, like, and they're in competition with you as far as who got the most DK coins and who did the best overall. And Mario is like in first place before you. Link is in second, and then I think Yoshi's in third or something like that. It's one of the two. Those are the characters that you'll see, though. And yeah, I mean, it's not too difficult to get past them, but the only way to get ahead of Mario is to get every single DK coin in the game, because he basically gets 39 of them, and I think that there are 40. So I'm just getting kind of thirsty, so I'm gonna... Once again, I'm talking like this game isn't 25 years old, but, you know, just for the offset chance of some complete newbies or people who haven't ever happened upon this game. So, and it's fun. I mean, that's the thing, is even though I have played this game in and out, I still don't remember everything about it, you know, despite how many times I've beaten this game. And that's kind of the thing. When you take like more than 3 or 4 or 5 years off, it kind of almost becomes brand new again. I mean, maybe not the worlds and the memory of the game, but definitely the stuff in the stages and even the dialogue. You know, the shit that like Funky Kong and some of those characters say is always kind of a merry little surprise. So, kind of happens to be a thing. But yeah, so you're basically the snake throughout this whole stage, and there's a cache of bonuses to do, and of course you have to use the snake's mechanics, so you do have to make sure that you're always jumping correctly, or else you'll fall to your doom or get hit or something, and it's kind of the main thing about it. But they do provide enough barrels to where if you do fail, it's not that terrible. There's a reason why I don't beat this world this time, is just because the sheer amount of stages and the fact that I'm trying to go for the bonuses and the fact that I die a few times makes this actually longer. So I'm almost thinking, now that we're going to be in part 5 after this episode, that, you know, really I beat the first Donkey Kong Country in 10 parts. So I would almost think that this one will probably be 13, 14, or 15. Something like that. I mean, it's about the same length, but these are just beefier stages. So, they have more to do. So that's just kind of... Yeah, nice little pizza belch for the win there. Had some pizza. So, I can't imagine pizza making me thirsty. I don't know why I'm so thirsty. It's strange, but you know. So I need to start watching basketball again. I was kind of doing that on acidic roots for a while, but then I kind of phased out of it just because I've been having personal crap. And but the most recent thing I paid attention to in the world of the NBA is that some abrupt fan, dumped popcorn on Russell Westbrook as he was leaving the arena. And apparently, they said that he wanted to fight him over it, but I don't know. I mean, the fan got banned indefinitely from the arena of the team that was playing there. So, but when you think about it, that's the kind of stuff that you see in like a sitcom or something. It's kind of like if the hero is a basketball player and he does something and he's at the stage where he's just in the losing phase of his life, the fans will dump popcorn on them. But they took that seriously. I would have figured they just would have said, like, go home or something, but they banned him indefinitely. I mean, the popcorn probably cost probably like $8 or $10, and a $10 bag of popcorn got him banned for basically the rest of his life or something. When they say indefinitely, I don't think they mean just 2 or 3 years. So this is kind of the thing, but it's worth it. I mean, I think I know I am on Westbrook's side just because he got injured. I don't think that's a reason to get pissed off at him. I mean, you gotta understand that some sports fans, of course, are like that, and they will, I've seen that, where it's like, fuck you, what are you doing? People be like, what are you doing? You can't stop letting them win. That sort of shit. This is kinda, but I don't know if he was actually mad at Westbrook or if I don't know. So many situations that go on with that, but the playoffs are in the midst of happening, but it is almost June as I do this. It's the penultimate day of May, so lots of stuff. Yeah, the placement of these enemies is a bastard, and that's really the thing. They just, you move forward and they just jump on you and hit you, and it's kinda, I mean, the screen placement is just not that good because there's a lot of vertical climbing, because the snake is obviously a jumping character, so it implies that you're supposed to be going up and down, but then of course when you do, you can't see the whole screen. So you gotta watch like 3 layers of screens at once. And at least in Super Mario World, you can hit the L and R buttons to kind of scroll up and down, but I don't know if you can do that in this. So, yeah, some clever jumps is what you have to pay attention to. So, I do like the fact that this whole stage is green. It's a nice touch. This really looks like it's just a complete marsh of a place. All the water's all disgusting and moss filled. And that's the thing. I mean, if you've never been to Florida or someplace where there's swamps or marshes, I mean, that moss that turns the water green is actually very disgusting. It's not something you'd want to swim in. It's definitely got like, all bunch of crap, not discounting crocodiles and other, sick wildlife you don't want to mess with. But yeah, swamps are pretty much, there's a reason why they're kind of deserted, we'll say that, I mean, it looks appealing in a video game, it's actually a pretty nasty place, but, yeah, so I know enough about this game that I know that Dixie Kong is Diddy's girlfriend. So that's actually, there's a little bit of romance that goes on here. It's like, hey, I'm just gonna, rather than bring my best friend or something, I'm just gonna bring my girlfriend to save Donkey Kong, That's interesting that happens. Because Mario wouldn't do that. He's not gonna say, well, or Luigi wouldn't do that. To save Mario, I'm gonna bring my girlfriend. But you get the idea, so yeah, stay tuned for parts 5 and subscribe for more fun.